Kimberly and I'm an instructor at the Elkridge Branch DIY Center. Today we're going to be making an upcycled t-shirt tote. This is the design that we're going to be using. It will look like this, similar. So it will have the seam down the front, but it will lay flat against your body when you put your arms through the hole. So if you want to pay special attention to what your seam looks like, it's not such a great design for any graphic t-shirts that have a big graphic on the front, because you're going to be turning it and that graphic will get lost along the side. But pay special attention to what the seam or the side of your shirt looks like, and we will get started. These are the materials that you'll need. The materials you'll need today will be a t-shirt to upcycle, fabric scissors, and a sewing machine or needle and thread. The sewing machine should be loaded with a bobbin and thread in coordinating colors. Okay, the first step is going to be to cut off the sleeves. So we're going to follow along the hem and going to go about a 1/4 inch in just along this line. I'm going to use sharp fabric scissors that aren't used to cut anything else, so that they stay nice and sharp. And while we're cutting, we're going to go very slowly, because we're not hemming this, we're going to be leaving it open, so we don't want any snags in here. Okay. Then go ahead and repeat on the other side. Make sure it's flat and that the front seam and the back seam of that sleeve are lined up. See, I got a little bit of a snag here, and I can just clean that up. Okay. Now the next thing we're going to do is cut out the top opening around the neck, and I want this to be even on both sides, so I'm going to fold it in half this way and line up the sleeves / handles. Make sure that all the layers of material in there are flat and even, so that when we cut it, it's a nice even cut, so there's no folds behind here. So this one seems to have a little bit of folds in it, so I'm going to make it as flat as I can. There we go. And then I'm going to fold it in half, lining things up, making it flat. So I'm going to cut right along. This is a deep V hemline, so I don't want to cut much bigger than that, so I'm just going to cut around here. Now this one you need to be extra slow, because we have more layers of materials in here. Now we're gonna see what that looks like. Okay, so go ahead and take your bag and unfold it and see how it looks. If you have any snags, like for instance here, I didn't manage to get all of the collar, go ahead and clean up any little bits that you need to. If you got a couple snags when you were cutting, just smooth or even out those edges if you want, just to make them nice and clean cuts. And we're going to take the shirt / your new bag, and we're going to turn it inside out. And then we are going to line it up so that the side seams along the bottom match. So line those up, lay them flat, and then if you want, you can go ahead and pin along the bottom. I don't usually pin on this small of a project, but if you want to be extra safe, you can pin. So this is my personal sewing machine. However, did you know that you can borrow tools and craft supplies like sewing machines, knitting needles, rakes, shovels, miter saws from the Elkridge DIY Center? All you have to do in order to find out details, go to hclibrary.org/DIY. Find out more information. Anyone 21 and up that lives, works, or goes to school in Maryland is eligible for a DIY card, and you can borrow items from your library for a week at a time. So I'm going to go ahead and start. I am going to sew right along the bottom hem, about 1/4 inch in. I have my bobbin loaded and my thread loaded correctly. I have my tension set to 4, and my stitch length is just a medium stitch length right in the center. So I'm going to line up my stitch, and I'm going to forward stitch 2 to 3 stitches, then I'm going to hold down to back stitch just a little bit to secure it, and then I'm going to continue on. So I forward stitch, back stitch, secure it, and then keep on going. Little projects like this are a great way to try out a sewing machine maybe you got as a gift, or borrow a sewing machine from the DIY Center and just try out a project. It's not intimidating, it's just an upcycled t-shirt, so it's not too involved, and you get to get a completed project in less than an hour. Now before you get to the end, right at the back, you're going to forward stitch, again, back stitch, and then forward stitch right over it till you get to the very end of your shirt. I'm going to take this, and most machines will have a small thing that you can use to cut your thread along the back. So I'm going to go ahead and flip it over and do the same thing again, just so there's a double stitch to secure it, and so my bag will be nice and strong. Again, at the beginning and the end, you just want to double stitch in order to secure it, and then you can go ahead and trim off any loose threads off the end. So the only thing left is to turn your bag right side out. And there you have your reusable, washable t-shirt tote that lays flat against your body. I do have other classes for upcycling t-shirt totes, one that has already come out, was when we used a graphic design t-shirt to make a no-sew design. This one has the tassels on the inside. And stay tuned, I will be doing upcoming produce bag that's a little bit of sewing but has a lot of cutting, but it's a really neat design so that when you put items in it, it ends up stretching and becoming a fun produce bag. So stay tuned, and I hope you enjoyed today's class.